Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly timeframes. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So what a day on Wall Street, guys. Light volume rally. God, man, I wish we could get just more volume and this thing follows through and goes up and gets this over with. But still a little bit inside this bar, closed above it this time. We closed below, so that's a little bit weak. We had a nice retrace today. If anything, they're going to have to gap this up tomorrow and keep it going. Get it back above the trend line. That was the key area. Never really, started coming in. I thought for sure we'd come down one more day and then bounce up, but these guys just 2 days down, just enough for everybody. Got to get it back up and keep it going. So if you're bullish again, above the MAs, above the trend line, go for the pivots, gap fill, and then you'll probably go 242. And honestly, I wouldn't rule out the 252, 44 area if this thing starts to go up. Needs to get below, above these trend line and stuff. A lot of resistance going up, as well as a lot of support going down. So if you're more bearish, you need to stay below the MAs and just continue sideways in a chop. And I'm thinking we'll retest this double bottom here and then set up for lower prices. If one day at a time. Let's see where this thing goes from here. If it gets above and then starts to roll, maybe we retrace the higher, maybe gap fill, something like that, and then take it from there. Again, light volume on the up move today, so you have to be aware of that. IWM as well. IWM, same thing, light volume. 18 million shares on the day, so not too much, guys. About half of what happened on Thursday, so maybe a little bit more, but again, below the MAs and setting up possibly for sideways, go in for lower prices. Again, if you're bullish, you need to get above the MAs, get above this little trend line here, then attack these pivots and go for the all-time high. Then, I wouldn't rule out 145, maybe a little higher. If you can't do that, then we're going to watch it chop around and see what kind of a pattern it gives us. We're still inside these bars, so that tells me it's a slightly bearish, a little bit bullish. It's not bad up at the highs, but God, it has to get above these highs, guys, and crack this level and start moving up a little bit. And that will probably be, tell us a little higher prices. So. But if it can't make it, the routine goes back, double bottom. We're probably heading down to the 200 MA, maybe. Is that a gap fill or something? No, yeah, gap fill, gap fill. You have a big one down here in November. I still think we're going down here eventually, but we'll see how that happens, if it even does, guys. So just keep an eye on this inside bar below the MAs. Slightly weak. Need to get above them to possibly move up. Again, light volume float today, so you have to be aware of that. Qs today, it was up $1.08 or 0.83%, right back to the 20 MA. Came in, couldn't get through this all-time high, just kind of chopped this little pop when the indexes pop, came right in, down, little relief rally on Monday today, and no volume again, right back to the 20. Let's see if they could gap it up and keep it going, or do we come right back in and turn around and go down? So right now, just kind of waiting to see what it does. If it goes this way now for a week or two or so, I would maybe think higher prices, but if it pops right back up to the highs again, maybe it pops through this time and keeps going. If it does 135 to 140, maybe we'll see how earnings come out. Netflix came out today. I guess it was okay. I guess we'll see tomorrow and Wednesday, see what happens. But I think in Netflix we get the gap and crap, and that could possibly pull down the Qs a little bit. But again, I don't know, guys. It's earnings. It's 50-50. It could go anyways. That's why I like the indexes too during earnings. Then you're not going to get a pop or drop. You'll get something like this, but to get like 10% on the index in one day, you're not going to get that. So, but again, Qs, nothing wrong. Chopping around. Let's see what pattern it gives us. Right now, it's slightly starting to go bearish. If we get above here, like I said, then we'll reevaluate and take a look at what's going on. It almost feels like we're going to go into that chop zone again, like we did here. We might go for another 2 weeks, just chop, 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 chop. So be careful. DIA needs to get above the MAs. Pretty much the same verdict for all this stuff. If you're bullish, needs to get above the MAs, the pivots, go for the all-time high. Again, this one, if it gets going, if they allow it. There's numbers up here. 218, 219 area, maybe probably 220 at that point if it does, but it's got to get all through all these areas first. If it doesn't get through those areas of resistance, then one thing at a time, guys. You need to get above this pivot, but if it stays below here, we'll watch for pattern. If it stays below the trend line, got back above it though. See that stuff, guys? It's like, all right, we need to get this thing back above so we get people more a little bit bullish now. You know, then they'll talk about it. Technical guys, oh, we got above the trend line, but we're still below this stuff too as well. I like this tight pattern. We did close below the inside bar here, pops back up. Maybe retrace into here and then possibly down, but we're going to keep an eye on this, see where we chop around from here. Again, I think this is still slightly bearish, but it doesn't mean it can't, you know, retrace back up into here and then possibly come in. But we'll keep an eye on this in the next couple days, see where it goes. Right now, it's really not telling us anything other than a nice reversal rally, closed above the, you know, candle here, but we're still below the MAs. They need to gap this thing up, or does it just come right back down off of resistance? So tomorrow will tell us the new story. It was a pretty good rally today, guys. Hats off to them. So, you know, I mean, they're not giving up. You know, it's hard to kill the bull. So I always said that. I've been saying that for years, guys. Hard to kill the bull. But again, nice reversal. Came back up. I wouldn't rule out a little more upside. You know, this was a great pattern. Broke down, but now this is down sideways. So we're down sideways, down sideways. Two little bearish patterns here. Let's see where we go from here. Again, if you're bullish, you need to get above the MAs, pivot, and then possible higher prices, and we'll go from there. If it attacks here, then I wouldn't rule out 180 or somewhere in that area. But right now, we'll have to see and just wait for pattern and just take it easy on the markets, guys. Don't go crazy in positions. Earnings are coming up. You know, no more than half positions or 5% of your total portfolio, especially when you're playing earnings. If you're doing the options, just take it easy with the options. Don't go all in and thinking, oh, Netflix is going up, it has to, and then all of a sudden it goes down, or Netflix is going down and it goes up, you know, where nothing on that one, you know. But Amazon, you get the bigger names. Look out, guys. Just play it safe. That's all I want you guys to do. So, but the IYT, again, a little bit weak, pulled back. Let's see if we get above the MAs. If it starts to chop around sideways here, I'd expect lower prices. The 200 MA is curling up. So if we get a nice bearish pattern, this 200 MA might not be in the picture anymore. It might pop right through it. So, but let's keep an eye and see what happens here. Still below the trend line and all that stuff. Still a little bit weak, but kind of 50-50 at this point with this little bit of a reversal. So let's keep an eye on the IYT tomorrow. The USO came in a little tiny bit. You know, we talked about this. Almost filled the gap, but, you know, not out of the woods yet. It's still setting up here. It could pop up, pop down, consolidate. You know, these things stay here. The 20 MA ends up curling in the price, shooting it up higher. Let's keep an eye on this one, though. But I do like the fact that it made a high, reversed, came in, a little bit soft day, and then boom, came right in, closed below this high pivot here. So that's telling me possible lower prices. And, you know, one day at a time. I think we'll come back, fill the gap. A lot of support down in this area. So one day at a time on this one. I still think it's coming back down. I think this was the little oil rally to get everybody to go, oh, wow, oil's going up. We got to buy the markets. That means everything's strong. And nobody bought that little rally there where the markets just kind of stayed, rolled over. Today was a good day in the markets, but let's keep an eye on the USO, see what happens in the next couple of days, see if we come down, bounce, or do we come down to this level, fill some gaps down in here, and then bounce. But one day at a time, nothing wrong. Above the MAs, chopping around in a bullish pattern. So needs to get above here. If you're bullish, if you're bearish, needs to get back below the MAs, and then we'll go to back down to double bottom. So right now, nothing really to do. We added a little bit shorts on this day and this day here. And let's see if we could get up into this area, and we'll add some more up in here. But if not, we started a position where it's still small. We still have plenty of room to add. And let's see if we get a pullback on it. Even if you do a half position, guys, that's great for this. Goes up in here. Get it to a 3/4 position or full, and then ride it. If it goes out, you know, buy maybe one contract here, buy one contract there, and play it 2 weeks out. If it plays, get in, get out. If it doesn't, then you're gonna have to get out, one or the other, guys. So the USO, so nothing wrong though. Still above the MAs. Let's see what happens in the next couple days here. The UUP, it was down a little bit today, 7 cents, but no great shakes. You know, had a nice gap down, recovered. Came right back in, popped above the 50 or the 20 MA here. We're still below the 50 in this trend line, so let's see where this thing goes. But, you know, it came down today, popped up a little bit, but still down. Nothing wrong, no real pattern, just a slight pullback, slightly bullish still, but holding the 20 MA, so kind of 50-50. It could come down here and fill the gap, or I would love to see it come back down here to the 200 as it's slowly curling up. Remember, it was back here before, you know, 25, 20, and then all of a sudden it's right here. So that's going to be a little bit of support. One day at a time, guys, with this UUP. Let's see what happens. I still think we're going higher, but maybe one step lower and then go from there. You still have lower highs, so you got to keep an eye on that. Couple things here and there, but at this point, nothing wrong with it. Just a little bit of manipulation, in my opinion. Let's see here. Then the GLD. GLD came back. We're telling everybody take something off the table, especially if you're down in here. From where we got it, you know, we were telling everyone around 115, 110, 108. You know, add somewhere in there, get your average around 110, 111, and boom, we took half off here. Gold yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday or on Thursday. Just say cut it. You know what? If it goes up a little bit more, we get another 5, 6, $7 out of it, I'll be done. There's a couple gaps to fill up here. But right now, gold's stalling out. I wouldn't doubt it retraces back down, and then maybe the next leg up. Again, you're coming into this big red bar. A lot of resistance up here. That's why we took a little bit of gold off, or at least half position on that one. So right now, it's okay. You know, let's wait for pattern. If we do go sideways a little bit down, this 20 MA curls up, it could push it up, but we're a little extended. I wouldn't expect. I would expect a little pullback and then possibly up. But right now, 2 days sideways, a little bit down today, nothing crazy. But let's keep an eye on this to see if we go up or see what pattern. If it breaks down, gives us an inside bar coming down from the high pivot. That will tell us something too. So, but right now, if you're long gold, just tighten the stops. If it starts moving up, just trail them. Comes back in, just get the heck out. So. That's the GLD trade. And then the Jnug, guys, I don't know. I get emails on this one. For me, if it gets below, you know, got below that trend line, that's not looking good, but you're still making higher lows. So that's still okay. You get below this pivot, though, and come back in and come back down this, you're most likely going to this 431 and 383 area. I really... Gold was down a little bit. You had two days of pullback, but gold was just kind of stable. That's why I like the GLD. I mean, this gives you a better bang for the buck when it moves, but you know what? If you get 10% in gold, you get 10% on this one. It's the same thing. That will take a little bit bigger position. No, actually, no. If you took a $10,000 position in this and got 10%, or a $10,000 position in gold and got 10%, what's the difference? You still got the 10%. You know, or 20,000, 30,000, whatever, you know, willing to play. So. But the Jnug guys, you're still on this side of this bar, still setting up slightly bullish, but still bearish because you're below the MAs. So, but it's been chopping around. Again, if you get below that trend line in this one, you're going down in this area. So just be careful. Don't load the house. Always have something just in case it comes in here. Because down in here, I think we get a bounce or something going on. But again, hold tight. Let's see what happens towards the end of the week. Let's go to the weekly really quick here. Yeah, weekly, gosh. Yeah, you still have that trend line down here, guys. It's still ugly. Gosh, this weekly is just ugly. That tells me lower prices. But again, this pattern fails to go lower. This will go up big time then. So you got to look at it that way too. That's what happens with these patterns that I look at, or I follow at least. But right now, nothing really wrong. They made a low, then a higher low, hasn't cracked it, but again, it gets past this 520, then you're most likely going down in this area, but you probably get a good bounce on the gap fill and double bottom. So again, just hold tight if you're in Jnug. Just don't overload the house. You know, get in a good sized position to minimize risk and to spread your positions in other equities across the board, or ETFs, or however you trade. So all right, guys, I think that's it for tonight. I really appreciate you coming, watching my videos. Hopefully I'm helping some of you guys out there. Again, go to StockBookie.com, sign up for the free membership. What do you have to lose, guys? I do videos like this, but the key with that, the membership, you get the emails when I'm posting stuff, the emails when I'm going to my live sessions, and hopefully in the future we're going to have a little chat room in there, throwing some live trades and doing some stuff like that. So, all right, guys, thanks again for watching my videos. God bless. See you on the charts.